What if you could master every core violin skill from beginner to advanced just by learning 10 songs? After playing the violin for more than 30 years and teaching hundreds of students, I found 10 songs that teach you everything you need to master the violin step by step, even if you only have 15 minutes a day. One of the first songs we give all our students in the Violinacademy is Beethoven's Ode to Joy. This is a great song for beginner because first it's only on the D string, with the exception of this one note, but who cares? The second thing is that the rhythm is very simple, with only quarter note, half note, and eighth notes. At the same time, you only have the easiest finger pattern, with the second and the third finger next to one another. Here there are only two things you need to know to practice it well. The first is that this part here it's a little bit faster because of the eighth note. So you will need to practice it separately very slowly and increase the speed very gradually. The second thing is that the whole piece is very quick, at tempo 120. So what you want to do when learning it is start at tempo 60. After 2 weeks, you can increase the speed to 90. And then, only after 2 more weeks, will you play it in the original speed. Then the second song is Dvorak's New World Symphony, a really beautiful song, and part of our level 2. So this one is a little bit more difficult. We still have the same finger pattern on the D string, and always playing only on the D string in the first two lines. But then on the third line, we play on the A string. And here we keep the same finger pattern with the second and third finger together. At the same time, there are not a lot of finger crossing, and that makes this piece way easier. You just need to be able to play on the A string, the D string, but not to make string crossing. And here, what you want to start practicing is making long phrase with the bow, having a very regular sound without having any interruption between each bow stroke, and at the same time start doing a few different dynamics, playing very soft at the beginning, then making some crescendo, decrescendo. Then the third song from level 3 is Hallelujah.
I've heard there was a secret chord that David played in a place alone. But you don't really care for music, do you?
So this is a very good third song, because first you will learn a new finger pattern with the first and the second finger together on the D string and on the A string, like that, and here like that. And like you can see on the music sheet, we are here on the D string the whole time, so quite easy, and then mostly on the A string. So here again we don't have much string crossings, but still a few so that we can start training them. And something very important that we learn with this song is playing in ternary. Ternary, it's when you have 3/8 notes per beat. So for example here, when I play it, it's... Okay, there are 3/8 notes per beat, and that's why it sounds like that. If it was binary, it would sound like this. Okay, it will sound completely different. To practice this song, there is something very important. The first time you learn it, you should practice it not in dotted quarter notes, but in eighth note. What it means is that you will think it in F note, like that. Ta 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 ta. Instead of trying to play it directly, ta ta da 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 da, it will really allow you to play it very regularly and play the right rhythm. At the same time, because it's quite fast, you should start it a little bit slower, something like ta 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 ta. And the last thing when you practice this one is that you should practice it in the lower part of the bow, here. It will really force you to learn a new part of the bow, and don't play always in the middle of the bow like most beginners. By the way, if you are an adult beginner and you want to learn to play the violin beautifully, we are organizing a free violin masterclass. You will find the link under this video to register for free. Then the song number 4 is Vivaldi's Spring. Here we have way more string crossing. At the same time, like you can see, we are playing a lot more on the G string, especially with the second voice. And on top of that, we are really training playing fifth. The fifth is an example. It's when I play on 2 strings, the same finger at the same height. So when you start practicing this song, here are a few things you should really look at. The first one is that, like I said, the biggest difficulty is the string crossing. So you should train them step by step. The first one, for example, 1 to 4. It's one of the most difficult string crossing in the first position. You can train it like that. 1, D open string, E1, D 4th finger. So you can always compare your open string with your 4th finger. Then for the 5th, you will put the finger on the C, but very close to your G on the D string, and then you move the finger quickly without lifting the finger. Okay, I'm not doing. I'm letting the finger on the string and just moving it sideways to the next string. And then something very important you want to train and learn in this piece is to playing very loudly and very softly. By playing the first time loudly and the second time very softly. Then next, practice Once Upon a Time in the West. Amazing film music, perfect as next step. Here, the first very interesting thing you will learn are long, slow slurs. And by the way, here you will see that you will be playing a lot on the E string, and so you will be able to really practice it. At the same time, it's very interesting because the first part is in ternary and the second part in binary, so you will train both. And for the first time, you will really need to learn how to play 4th and tritone, 2 very difficult intervals. So when you practice this song, there is a few things you should do. The first one is that you should practice a lot with the wall bow. That will really help you have a more beautiful sound. Then the most difficult part is the one with all the 4th, 5th and tritone here. This you want to really practice step by step and follow what I wrote here on the music sheet. You should let the finger on the string, like that. Here again on both strings for the 5th. We put the finger on both strings. Here again, both finger on the string. And here the tritone. You put the 4th finger next to the 3rd. This is a little bit difficult, and that's what we want to practice. Then you should go to song number 6, Shostakovich Waltz number 2. So this is a great next song because here we have even more string crossing, but still it's not too difficult and we play a lot on the G string. But what's most important is that here, for one of the first time, we really have a lot of accidentals. Like for example, here, this A sharp, or here, this E sharp. And that's very important to learn. At the same time, we need to practice playing with the bow and in pizzicato and changing fast. So if I play here, it sounds like that. 1. It's very fast changing from the bow and the pizzicato, and that's very useful to learn. So here to master it, you need two things. The first one is when you have those accidentals, you should really know which finger pattern you have. So here, for example, I have my B, and then my A sharp is just next to it. And I need to keep that in my head. And then my C sharp here. That means in the end, that's my finger pattern. And that's the most important part when you have those kind of accidentals, just knowing where to put the finger. And the next thing you need to train is the change from bow to pizzicato. The best way to train it is to go like this to this. Because this is a pizzicato position, basically. So holding the bow normally, to holding it with the whole hand and letting the index finger on your thumb free. Up, 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 up. And then you go from bow on the string to thumb here. And now the next few songs are really amazing. And the next one, song number 7, is Irish Jig Medley. This is very great to practice playing fast. Like you can see, it's only on the first position, but it's really fast. And that with a lot of string crossings. I will play it something like tempo 100. And here to really master it, a very useful exercise is to always play one beat plus the next note. It makes like that. Then the next group. And then when you can play like that every beat, you play 2 beats plus the next note. Then something very important too, because we have a lot of string crossing, especially here, is to let the finger on the string. Here I let the whole time my finger on the G, on the D. Here I want to practice this on open strings first. And then you should move on to song number 8, Readings Concert in B minor. This is great because it's very melodic, and here you will really learn to phrase with the bow, with a lot of slurs, playing with the whole bow the whole time, and with a lot of dynamics. So here what we really want to look like is first that you use the whole bow the whole time, mostly, or at least a lot of bow. Then at the same time you really want to practice dynamics. That means don't play everything the same, play a little bit softer, then make, for example, here a big crescendo. That's what you want to train, big dynamics, like a professional violinist. If you have problems with the left hand here, you can do a simple exercise, playing every note 2 at a time very fast. The first 2 notes first, then the next 2, then the next 2, and the next 2. That would really help you automate the left hand. And the next song you should learn already by level 9 is bass air. This is your song to practice the vibrato, because it's very slow with very slow long note on very long slurs. So here is the advice we give all our students. First, try to do vibrato only on the longest note. So every note that is at least a half note, like here. But for example, this, you don't need to vibrate it at the beginning. And just play it without vibrato. And then when you have a very long note like this, start with a slow vibrato and then make it always faster and brighter. Something like that. And then most students really need to practice more in details this part because of the rhythm. Here what you should do is just to say it first. It makes D, D, E, F, 2, E, E, D, C, B, B, C, D, 2, C, B, A. And then you can go to one of the best songs to practice everything. It's the Partial Bells Canon. Here we have a lot of different difficulties. First, we have a slow melodic part at the beginning for the vibrato. Then we have a lot of different rhythms, like 8th note, 16 notes, 32 notes, quite everything, and variation combination of them. Then we have the part in 3rd position that is very easy to play here. So that's very good when you start learning the 3rd position. Then very useful is this part to train really playing fast. Here you really want to train the left hand a lot, using for example the acceleration methods from the Violin Pyramid Method that I'm showing in other videos. And then you have a lot of different bowings, like here in martelé. Then different combination of détaché with different slurs. You really want to practice those kind of parts on open strings first. And then of course you have all kinds of dynamics, starting in pianissimo, then later on being really loud. So there are more levels, but you should start with those 10 pieces. I wish you a lot of fun.